I grew up in the big city where every day I make this commute to work. I always turn left on this road, even though it's out of my way. Up this hill, around the corner, is a property that I dream of buying one day. I'm just short. We're short the down payments. Things have been a struggle for me and my wife, both living in the big city. I have to commute into town every day. There's so many trees on this path. What the heck is going on? She gets to stay in the big city and work, but that's not our dream. Our dream is not to be in the big city, the concrete jungle. We'd rather be out here in nature. And so when I drive into town every day, I like to take this scenic route. It's just a left right here. And there's been this property for sale for some time that we've been saving up for a down payment. We've been pre-qualified if we can come up with that $100,000 we need just to get into this new loan for this property. But you can see it's got a pretty good setup here. Got a little sheep barn or shed there for sheep. A nice shed for keeping some equipment. We got a workshop here. Also like a garage it could be. And then you go down this bend onto this part of the property and there's another beautiful barn. And this is pretty sweet. I have talked to them. They're okay with me driving on this property for now. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys what my dream is and see if we can make it happen. The field that's attached to this property is just grass. What we're wanting to do with it is probably build a house closer to the hill up there, or the top of the hill, and create a homestead for ourselves and eventually just live off the property and our earnings from the property. Just a little over 8 acres. Figured it could be plenty for us just to quit our jobs and enjoy a quiet life so we don't have to go back there to the big city. But I better get back in my truck. I gotta get to work, gotta pay the bills. I'm hoping to hear from a friend who had a lead on some contract work in town that might help me get over the hump of being short for this down payment, because the last thing we want to happen is someone else come in and buy this before we get that money saved. And it's been tough. We've been saving for a while now. We're at, $79,000. We're just over $20,000 short for that payment. So, hoping to hear from that buddy to see if we can make it happen very soon. I do usually take the back roads all the way to work, but I wanted to show you how, I don't know another word for it, how cute this little town is that we want to move to. And it's not far enough from the big city, but it's the best option for us to be close enough to family and still have some property in a nice small town. And here it is. We've got a nice dairy to the left. We get milk. Get some cheese from there, some restaurants all around here, the fire department, a little shopping mall here, strip mall, a little plaza there, just a pretty town. There's the pharmacy, some construction going on. There's always improvements, it seems, that are happening here, and somewhat slow traffic. There's the gas station. We got our Clever Motors dealership over here, which I'm sure eventually I'll be visiting. But we just got to deal with this slow traffic and hope my boss isn't too upset with me for being somewhat late to work today. But we're almost there. Just take a right here before exiting town. Head up this hill. And there's a left that we take, and it's so fun to be like the best part of this drive every day is getting to see all of these fields. That's why I usually take the back roads even through this town, but it's just making me itch more and more to live out here and not just work out here. It's like some wheat to our right there, some sunflowers here. But there's the security gate, the old limestone mine. It's where I make my living, bring in a decent income. We make about $3,200 a month here. My wife makes a little bit more at her job in the city, but we do want to replace that income with income from property if we can ever get it. All right, security guard, you gonna let me in today? There we go. Thanks, Joe. And we just cruise on down here into the mine. Big quarry here from all of the limestone that's been removed. We're gonna have to try to sneak in here and avoid the boss because I really don't feel like getting in trouble today. The old limestone quarry. Let's head on in, get this day over with. Let's not get seen though. Just gotta somehow make it look like we've been here already. I'm coming out of the office and just kind of supposed to be here at 7:30. It's 8 o'clock. Okay, should be good. Okay, let's just. But here's what I drive every day: the dump truck. I go down into the quarry. They fill it up. I bring it back out. Yeah, we got to get down there. I'll see you after work. Well, another long, hard day. It's 4 o'clock. It's time to get out of here, but we do have some good news. My buddy came through. There is a contract work that he's unable to do. He's unable to fulfill this contract. He does a lot of this stuff on the side, and it has to be done today. And he was unable to do it because he was at work as well and had some other obligations tonight, but he let the farmer know that I would be by after work to start getting his harvest done for him. I got the directions. We're gonna head to this farm, and the equipment's supposed to be ready for me. On my lunch break, I did talk to this farmer. He let me know the plan. We're gonna harvest it, and there's a location that we have to take it to sell it. And so after doing that, we might be super close to that $100,000. I'm blown away at how well some of these farming contracts pay. So let's head in there, and I'll meet you there in a second. I think I see it right in front of us. There's a big green combine out there. Looks like a semi and a trailer. I'm sure we put the grain in that. But I guess we'll just park right here for now. So when I was younger, my grandparents owned a farm, and I got to help out every once in a while. I know the basics of this equipment, but some of this is, gosh, this is an advanced piece of machinery here, and I've never worked on a field that's shaped like this, so we'll go and see how that's gonna go. I think we unfold this. Yeah, that's perfect. It's opening up for us. And then we'll just get this header attached. Hop out here, get that all hooked up, and try not to hit the truck there. But it's already, 4:20. Let's go ahead and we gotta get going. Our moisture reading is looking good, 17.3%. And I don't know what the best route to do this circle is, but maybe we'll just pick a spot and start going across it. I like to open the field up like I used to do at Grandpa's farm by doing the headland. Yeah, I'm hoping this pays extremely well for us, and I hope the cell location is still open when we get done, because we're getting a late start to harvesting a field like this. This is gonna be a lengthy process. I hope there's enough sunlight today. I gotta run and get the truck now, empty this. Oh boy, this is a field. This is a huge field. And man, being by myself, this is insane. It's gonna be dark. It's gonna be beyond dark when we get done. I think what we'll do is just go straight up and down the field and do the left side first, and then we'll do the right side. I don't know how else to do this efficiently. It'll be interesting to see when we get back how full the combine is. We started with about 15% in there. We'll keep rolling. I made my first mistake. We had our auger pointed towards the wheats when we started going down that pass and filled up. So I figured instead of walking back to the truck, I might as well just drive back to it. Okay, we'll get that opened up, and then hopefully I lined up good. I did. I look like I know what I'm doing. That's all unloaded. We'll get back at it. Already been out here for over an hour. We're gonna start running out of daylight very quickly, I feel like. 5 o'clock now. We got a little bit of time left. Gotta stay busy, gotta stay focused. Well, the grain truck is filled up. I gotta look at my text message and see exactly where I'm taking this. I'm guessing we're gonna get like 5 loads of this. Apparently, we're heading to the co-op. I think I know where that is. Yep, just drive towards this big city. That's what they told me, and then take a right. Ugh, I don't even want to see that skyline. Said it was just past this cornfield and to the left. So we should be coming up on it here momentarily. Yeah, this looks like the place, and we drive in that little garage looking thing. Deposit the wheat, and they keep track. They checked me in here when we got here. Should be able to just unload here. Now we gotta head back, continue on farming. And just a little update here. We're heading into town with our second load. Pushing 7 o'clock now. Sun's gonna be setting in a couple hours, and I think we might be safe to get this done before nightfall. And it's seeming like we're gonna get probably at least 1 more truck full, so I'm guessing I have to head back there 2 more times after this one, but all is going well. Found a better route this time to get there. I'm really enjoying this farming stuff, but I'm hoping it's enough money to get that property, because I'm itching to do some of this of my own. And we'll get this all dropped in here. Pretty nice. I wish you could do both of these at the same time. There we go. Dropping that in. Very satisfying day of work. Pretty exhausted from it, but it'll be well worth it in the end. All right, we'll finish getting that unloaded. You can see the moon is coming up. The sun is setting. It's getting dark. It's getting dark around here. We gotta stay focused to get this done. See how good these lights are. Oh, okay. I think we'll be fine to get this all finished. Talk to the guy at the co-op. He knows what I'm doing. He knows who I'm working for. So they will be waiting for me for the last few loads here, which is real nice. And just loading in the last bit of wheat. I'm hoping it all fits so we can do just 1 more trip. Then we're gonna see how close we are to getting that down payment, if it all fits. It did, okay, perfect. So we should shut this off though. He did say I could leave it here. I'll have to come back and get my truck, but that's no concern. So we'll go ahead and just leave that there. It's all shut off. And let's go see if they're satisfied with the rest of this wheat. Here we go. Get this done. I'll get a hold of the farmer and let him know it's all set. Should probably look at my text and remember his name. That's rude. Richard Miller. Well-known farmer in town. Richard's a good guy. At least I'm told. This is my first time working with him, but from what I understand, he's good stuff. All right, let's get the rest of this all dropped in, unloaded. And why is our money going up? That wasn't... They just gave us $9,600. This seems like a mistake. Let me get a hold of Richard and find out what's going on here. Well, I just got off the phone with Richard, and he apparently... I saved the day. And the fact that no one else could harvest it, he wasn't going to be able to be in town to harvest it himself before the wheat went bad, family emergency and all. He gave us extra money. There's a certain amount of bushels that we sold, and then once we got over that threshold, the co-op was told to give us cash for the rest. So we're sitting at $89,000, and he told me once I get the truck back to his property to give him another text and he'll wire over the rest of the money that he owes me for the contract. I'm blown away. I did not think we're gonna make this much money. We're gonna have enough for our down payment. I gotta get a hold of my wife. I think this will be good to park this, shut the lights off, put the cover back on. Richard helped us out so much. I'm not gonna cut any corners here. We're gonna put this back on the header trailer for him, attach that all up so he can just come here in the morning and get all situated. I'm blown away. Okay, we just line up here. I think I went a little too far. Oh, there we go. That should be good. Come out here, make sure it's all detached correctly. Looking pretty good. Man, I wish I had a pressure washer or something to clean this for him too, but I'm not familiar with anywhere in town that I could take a piece of equipment this large and get it washed. So I think this is well done though. Shut off the lights, shut off the engine, and head on over to our truck. And another 13,600 from him. We're at 102,000, and that's before my check from work gets deposited. I mean, we do have some bills to pay, so we're super close to hitting our number now. I mean, we have $100,000. The wife's excited. Got off the phone with her a little while ago. Only one thing left to do today before heading home. I gotta go look at that property again. I believe we can cross this bridge and get there from here. Man, it's gotten dark on us. Man, this seems to be working out too good. I just wanted to see it again before I headed home tonight. It's been a long one. Gonna be exhausted in the morning. But we're gonna get on the phone with our loan officer and our realtor. We're gonna make this property ours. What a beautiful thing. Today marks the first day in a long time I've had a day off, and it's for a special occasion. You can see we have $502,000, but I also need to deposit our monthly paychecks. Paychecks are all deposited. We're sitting at $506,000. Later today, a wire should go through and the money should leave our account for that property being sold. I know it seems a little backwards, but it made sense to me. For $287,074, that property is now ours. That leaves us with $219,000. No house still. We do have our rent in the big city. And let's take a look at that. So we have this set up so we can keep track of it pretty well. You know, $4,700 was deposited. You can see our monthly payments are going to be $5,900, almost $6,000. So this top one is going to be the mortgage. We took out a $500,000 loan to buy the property and to give us a little bit of startup funds. This $500 loan here, it's not really a loan. It represents some utility bills that we have monthly. And then this $1,000 a month is one that I'm hoping we can replace eventually. But this is for our food and how much we are budgeting for our food every month. And then the $1,563 is what I'm hoping to get rid of. That is rent in the big city. And our deposits monthly are only around $4,700 or $4,400. So we have a deficit, but we can get rid of that deficit if we can get somewhere to live. So we have property now, but there's no home. And there's no way I'm going to be able to talk my wife into getting rid of our rental in the city if we don't have anywhere to sleep. I was thinking about a tent, but I don't think that's going to work. There is a little area down here that a new company moved into town, and they sell custom homes, and they have some options for us. So I wanted to take a look at that first before I head over to the dealership and potentially look at some equipment to help me prepare for the next part of our adventure. So we're just going to turn in here and find a parking spot. There we go. Place looks kind of busy today. And these guys park pretty well. Okay. So moving on down here, you can see they do have some options, like some model homes here that have been set up. And yeah, this is a custom home builder, but they have some, pre-existing floor plans and elevations of these houses for people to come and take a look at to get an idea of what they can build. And a couple of these, like these two here and this one here, is what we've narrowed it down to our favorites, but they're a little bit out of our price range right now because we want to be really, careful with our money. So one of these is going for $45,000. And we might do that just to get us somewhere to live until we can afford to build our own house. And it would be, a nice stopgap. We spend $45,000 out of the cash we have and then get out of our lease in the city. And then we can live on the property, keep our existing jobs for now. Instead of me commuting here, the wife would be commuting to the city until we can, turn enough of a profit on our property for us to quit our jobs. And that's the ultimate goal, is to be able to live off of our own property and our own works there and not have day jobs. And just our life would be, or our jobs would be, working on the farm. Go around here. I'm not sure. I've never been here before. This looks like employee parking. I think we made a mistake, guys. I think we made a mistake. Maybe this gate will let me open it. Oh, it does. I don't know if the employees are going to be okay with that, but let's go ahead and park. And we'll try to find somebody here and see about buying something. Interesting parking lot. I don't think we want to park here either. I'll just go like, this looks good. So my plan was to get some equipment with this money. We want to buy some equipment for the property. Some of the plans that I do have. Ooh, something like that would be nice. Because I'm going to need to get a trailer. A skid steer would be good. And a tractor and a mower. We got a lot of grass that I want to clear. And I think, yeah, I'm just going to, yeah, it'll make more sense if I just show you guys. All right, we got $46,000 worth of equipment we just bought. And I think we made a good deal here. So we got a trailer. And we're going to have to hook up the truck to the trailer. Get the new tractor and mower sent home. We got the International 766 Farmall here. I think it'll be a good starter. It'll be a good starter for us. But let's get the truck over here hooked up. We'll get the ramps lowered so we can get the tractor up there and the mower. And we're gonna start clearing out a spot to potentially put a new home. And I do think we have $173,000 still. I think we do want to get a skid steer as well to help us flatten some land, because that's gonna be a big part of the problem to being able to get that house installed. Let's go ahead and pull a little bit forward. We'll lower these now. Perfect. Now we'll hop in here. I think you just do that. Oh, perfect. Now I'm thinking I want to just attach this. Put it on the trailer as like one piece. And that might be a safe way to get it home. Let's see, just back up a little more here. I don't want that hanging out sideways like that, so I think we just start cruising. We stuck on something? What's going on here? There we go. Just drive up this ramp. Make sure we strap everything in. And then we should just be able to raise those ramps. Oh, I think that's a pretty good setup. Now let's just turn around in here. Head on home. And this might be a pretty good start. I do know you can get a little bit of cash for cutting grass and either baling it up or potentially just picking it up with a forage wagon, and we can get some extra money that way. But we really got to start thinking about revenue streams, and right now our main focus is finding a place, getting a house so we have somewhere to sleep and live. And then after that, we're gonna want, what are you doing, car? And then after that, we're gonna want to figure out how to, maximize our income and revenue. So I'm thinking greenhouses maybe, because then that could also be something that we sell at like a farmer's market. I mean, it does feel amazing that this is ours, but that just means the work is about to begin. I got the day off. I don't have to work today, and it's Friday. So I have 3 days to get this prepped and ready. And then I need to get the blessing from the wife on the trailer that we're gonna buy to live in for a while. And I'm hoping, we can get rid of that payment in the city and start living our new life. But we are gonna drive up towards the top of our property. There is a road up here, and I think that's what we want the access road to the new house to be. And I'm not necessarily going to be worried about clearing any land yet. I want to utilize this grass we have here to really help us out financially. Let's go ahead and shut the truck off. Stay right there for now. Oh, I left the tractor running. That's unfortunate. All right, let's hop in here. Try to get this off of the trailer. That's not bad. All right, let's shut that off because I want to do some planning next. So we want to find somewhere that's relatively flat, because that's what we're going to need to clean up. It's not too bad up towards the top here. Just maybe some flattening out at like this area, and we could slope it down and then have a flat spot here. I think that's the plan. So as long as I can figure out what I'm doing with this this tractor and mower, we should be all set to do the first phase of this. Let's go ahead and pull forward, get past the truck. And I think if we just turn around, and I think this lever here, yeah, that's gonna lower that. And like I said, I don't necessarily want to cut all of this. I really wanna focus on enough of an area to clear out that we can start prepping the land for that mobile home. So it's lowered. Oh, I think that did it. Okay. So now as we drive, it should be, yeah, we're cutting some grass. The next thing, I was looking at some equipment they had to pick this up. And there's some, you know, from what I understand, there's some people in town that if we bundled this up as hay, they would be interested in buying it. So that might be what we're gonna do today. I think I'll come out right here and just loop back, and we'll just clear out a good amount of area, get rid of the grass here. We just didn't want to waste it if we came in here and flattened the land without getting rid of, you know, the grass first, because we can make some profit off of the grass. So I'm gonna get this cut and we'll continue from there. Well, that's not too bad. I think that's our first phase done there. Gotta climb this hill. It looks like, oh man, horsepower struggling a little bit on this bad boy. But I think I will go ahead and put this in one of the barns for now, so we can put it away, and then we're probably gonna make a trip back to the dealership and see about getting some equipment to pick up the grass. And I think I do want to just, gosh, it'd be nice to turn it into hay. But we got to be really careful with our money, because we don't have a lot of it, and we still have that rent in the big city. So find a place to store this for now, and then we'll continue on. I think right here looks pretty perfect. Let's head back over to the truck, and we're gonna head back over to the dealership. It's gonna be nice to call Evergreen Valley home and not just a place to work. We're gonna get to know Clever Motors pretty well, I have a feeling. And just taking a look into the catalog now, I want to see what kind of tethers they have. And this one wouldn't be bad, $4,500 for this Vermeer one. Width of 3.5 meters. Let's go ahead and give that a purchase. And then this old Krone forage wagon for $16,600. But I think we'd also probably want something to do some windrows. So $500 for this bad boy. We're gonna get the New Holland rake. Well, it took a couple trips, but we got everything home. And I think, okay, we raise, lower that way. And then as we just come over here, we'll want to enable the implements. And this will start tedding it up, help it dry out a little bit. And just kind of splash it everywhere, I guess, but that's the process. So make sure we don't miss anything. Try to maximize our money of making this hay. And then we'll turn it into rows and pick it up. Now, I hope I didn't make these rows too wide because that wouldn't be fun, but we're learning. We'll get better. We'll find out in a little bit. I am going to put this away, though. I don't want to leave the equipment just in the field. So we're getting everything, you know, established. Getting closer to being able to start prepping that and tear up the ground and flatten it out. But the next thing is to pick up all of the hay and go to the location. I did have a nice talk with a gentleman in the dealership there. Kind of gave me the rundown of the places where we can sell this stuff. So we'll be heading. That'll work. So we'll be heading into town, finding that sales location he was talking about. But first, we got to fill up that forage wagon. I have no idea if it's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 trips with that thing. We'll see how well we did and how much hay we got on the ground. Get a little bit closer and we'll activate this. It looks like the width is pretty good compared to this wagon, so should just pick it up and throw it in the back there. And hopefully we only have to go over this once each row. And I don't think it's gonna quite fill it up, but we got a lot of grass. If this proves to be, you know, a profitable business approach, we could cut the rest of it and make even more money. Well, it all fit in one. And there's this super handy application that farmers around town use that tells them where everything is at the best price. So let's go ahead and try to get that installed on our phone and take a look next. So apparently we just need to find hay on here, and then we'll get options on where it's being sold. And it looks like this bottom option here is where we need to go. And I can do that and then open up the GPS on my phone as well. And it'll tell me where the location is. And we can see it way down here at the bottom. And we're up here. That's not too far. So we'll have to come around. Actually, we could go back that back road just down here. That's perfect. All right, let's head on over. And let's see what 69% of this thing being full is going to give us financially. I'm not banking on a lot of money from this. This is just extra cash. All this equipment we're going to want to use long term anyways. Probably end up getting some sheep back here, and we'll have to get them food. And this will be the equipment we use for that. So I think it was a wise investment with what we had left over. I'll see you in a few. Okay, I believe this is how we get to this place. Looks like an entrance right here. And from what I'm told is we'll just drop this into the storage here, and then someone from inside will tell us how much money we made from it. So let's loop around. Try not to hit these cones. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Good sir. We'll get that fixed for you, but let's go ahead and go about right there. And I think, yeah, it looks like it is unloading. And while that's doing, I'll go talk to this gentleman and find out how much we made right in here. Okay, $2,100. I mean, that's not bad. It's almost the mortgage payment. And that was a small little area. I guess hay's going for a good cost or a good price right now. All right, let's head home. Start working on our plan to get that ground flattened so it's a more livable area. You don't really want to put that house on a slope like that, so we got some work ahead of us. And that'll stay there for now. One thing I'm kind of wondering is if we could convert this into some type of cattle instead of sheep. I mean, I don't know if it's got everything cattle will need. I need to do some learning about that. We got some water here. I assume we put the food in there. I don't see why cattle wouldn't work here. But those are things we got to figure out. Let's get back to the truck. It's nice. I'm loving that this is my property. But back to the truck, back to the dealership. We got some more equipment to buy to help us out. I have a lot of changes I want to make to this property, and having our own equipment to do it Seems to be the most financially responsible way. We could rent, but as often as I want to use this next piece of equipment, I think it would be wise to just buy our own. On second thought, I think we'll just lease this stuff. So it's going to cost us $18,000 to just lease this dozer. And I think it'll be okay, though. I don't think it'll fit on our trailer, so I asked them what they thought about me driving, and they said as long as I get onto the back roads as fast as possible, no one should have a problem with it if I can get this stuff connected. But let's take this home and get to work. You know what? Maybe it will fit. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Oh yeah, that's not bad at all. We'll just lower this so it's safer while we drive. Turn it off. Strap it in. Piece of cake. We'll get home much faster this way. No way we could afford to buy this thing. It was over $300,000. 20 grand just to prep a house, huh? Wow, what did I get myself into? Oh, I think we found our limit on this truck. Boy, struggling up the hill with this. There we go, a little bit faster. We'll make it. We will make it. Fine. Let's go ahead and park in the grass though, in case someone else comes by. We don't want to block the road. It is a county road. All right, lower the ramps. Let's back up just a hair and shut it off. Seems to be working. It's gonna drive straight. Try to flatten a good spot here. It's gonna keep going. Dozer's doing its job. Okay. Scoot over a little bit. That lowered about right there. It should just flatten this out for us real nice. Just like so. It's starting to turn on us. We don't want it to turn yet. Going all right. I'm gonna keep plugging away at this, and we'll show you the finished product here in a little bit. Well, not gonna lie, I think this looks pretty nice. Got a little bit of a flat area. Some areas I could have worked on a little bit more. We got this area here. We'll have to smooth it out a little bit better later, but I think if we can start envisioning this. Come in here, we got a nice slope driveway. Have the trailer right here. In the nice flat area, and then look at this view from the backyard. Yeah, eventually this will become the backyard. We'll have some crops around here, but I don't want to, plan too much in this area because the footprint of the house, when we get the full-time house, this is just going to be a temporary living situation. That's definitely going to take up more land. So any plans that we make or the new things we buy aren't going to be directly in this area, but I'm gonna give them a phone call and let them know we're ready for them to deliver our new home. And while we wait for them to get here, I am gonna take this back to the dealership. Go get it loaded up here. Yeah, and it would have cost probably about $40,000, 40 to 50, just to have someone do this for me. So we got it done ourselves. Only that $18,000 fee. We're still at $135,000, but it's gonna be below. We're gonna be at about $90,000 once we get our new home delivered. Why didn't I do it this way to begin with? That's way better. Just drive straight up on here. Yeah, that's way better. It's not perfectly straight, but it'll do. We'll get it back. We'll get it back safely. Oh, and look up on top of the hill. It looks like they have installed the new house, and it looks like my wife's car's here already too, so that's good. Oh, look at that flag. I'm glad they got that added to the order. So well, we'll see when we get there, but we got the house to live in for now, the nice trailer. And I also got a little shed just for us to park our vehicles under so we don't have to park it down by the barns. And like I said earlier, this will definitely be a temporary situation for us. Well, we're hoping so at least. You never know how things will unfold, but we're definitely hoping that this is the first step in really making this our home here and living off the land. Go ahead and put the trailer right there for now. Get parked in my spot as well. And yeah, definitely humble beginnings. The wind is blowing tonight. What a pretty view this way. All that farmland. And saying goodbye to the city. Welcome back to Homestead. I'm enjoying this fresh October air. We've got our loans paid for the month. We got our checks from last month deposited. We're sitting at $89,000. Let's take a look at our loan situation. So now that the rent is gone, our monthly payments are down to $4,405. After taxes, our income is $4,472. So we are in the green right now to run our life, including food and everything, utilities. But that wasn't the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to not have to work and live off our own land. So I'm gonna head into work today, but it's Friday, we're heading to work. We got the weekend off. I got a lot of things around the farm that I wanna take care of. The next thing on our agenda, now that we got rid of rent, is to start being able to provide our own food so we don't have to spend as much money on groceries. And I met with a company that builds greenhouses and they also transplant orchards. So we're gonna have them do some work for us. It's gonna cost us around $10,000 for what I wanted prepared and installed. And one of the cool things about still having this job and having other people help us with things, I get to go to work, make some money, come back home, and see what they did for the day. And from my understanding, they're gonna be complete today, and we're gonna have the ability to start growing our own fruits and vegetables. It's an exciting time, but we gotta go do the job. It's a grind. I'm really hoping in a few months I get to quit my job. Joe, can you let me in, please? Thank you. And not have to come here anymore, but we gotta do a lot around the farm. I do wanna potentially start working on, you know, some other income. I know reducing our grocery costs could also come with the benefit of if we produce more than we can eat, we could go to farmers markets, we could set up some stands and sell some of those, you know, fresh vegetables and fruit for the community, and that would be a nice way to make some income. I just don't know if that's going to be enough income to be able to quit and then have the wife be able to quit as well. So we're baby stepping this. That's why we still have the jobs. I'm going to go ahead and get this day over with, and then we'll have some fun this weekend doing some farm work. Heading home after a long day of work. I'm excited to get this weekend started. I'm even more excited to see how our new orchard and greenhouse or garden, it's like a garden greenhouse combination. I'm excited to see how those turn out, and we gotta start maintaining them and taking care of them. Let's get home and see how it's looking. Oh, that looks interesting. There's some trees, some rocks. Gotta get a better view of this. I mean, we'll get a view from the top eventually, but let's go ahead and get parked and take a look. Okay, that's pretty cool. I can't believe they did it that way. That looks sweet. Hop up here, come around this way. Could have probably kept extending the retaining wall, but I kind of dig it. We got, what, 5 trees, and they transplanted these for us, flattened out the area so that it's just a little bit easier to maintain, and put a nice retaining wall in here, aligned it with some flowers for us. This is pretty sweet. And then I believe down here, yeah, down here is where I told them to put the greenhouse. There it is. I think this is money well spent. We spent $10,000 on this, so we're down to like about 79,000 right now. Oh, this is cool. Keep the wildlife out, maybe. I think the deer can hop it like that, but got a good amount of spots here. We got 4, then 6 here, so that's 10, 14. Whole bunch here. Yeah, we can go a lot in here. We can get some lettuce going, tomatoes, maybe some corn, soybeans, just to have, you know, variety of veggies. And then we got some strawberries in here too for fruit, and then the apples up there. But being that it's already fall, we're not going to be able to get any apples this year, so we'll start maintaining this and we'll just keep it alive, make sure it's got enough water, and we'll get, you know, the fruits of our labor, no pun intended, next year. But it's a good start. It is a good start. So tomorrow we'll head into town. We'll go find some seeds for the greenhouse and probably a big tank to fill it up with water and make sure we have a way to keep that fed. And yeah, this is exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest, hang out with the wife, and we're gonna get some farm work done this weekend. Well, it is the next morning and I'm gonna head to town. I think what I wanna do, gosh, how do we want to do this? I'm going to take the truck and the trailer just in case we need the trailer. But a way to add water to the greenhouse or the garden, whatever we want to call that. It's like an open garden right now, but as it gets cold, we do have some tarps to put around it so that we can keep growing things in the winter. It'll be nice. It'll be nice if I could back up correctly. All right, let's head into town. I did talk to the dealership. They said they have a decent sized water tank for not too expensive that we could pull with the tractor or the truck. So we're gonna head and do that. We'll be pulling the water from our own well, which is nice having that on the property. And that's part of our expenses already, our utilities. So we'll be able to do that with no really minimal increase of electricity used to pump the water out of the ground. But yeah, let's get to the dealership and I'll show you what I had in mind. Really starting to get to know these guys here pretty well at this point. I'll be right back. Well, $8,000 later, we have a tank for water, and they've already loaded it up on the trailer for us. This will do well. So we're, $18,000 into this already. I don't know how long it's going to take to make that money back, but it should be pretty good. I mean, we're building ways to not have to buy groceries, and kind of think about it. That was 10 months worth of groceries of money we just spent. So doing math like that and justifying things, this is going to be a long process. We're not in it for the short haul, we're in it for the long haul. So these early investments are going to be very important to our long-term success. And I think I'm making wise ones at this point. This thing looks pretty large. I'm wondering how well the little tractor is going to handle it. But we'll find out. I think it makes sense to just bring it over here, hook it up to the tractor right away, and start filling up the water tanks that are located by the garden as well as the one that is located by the orchard. Let's jump into the international here. It's got to be strong enough, right? We didn't make our first mistake. I doubt it. I doubt it. We'll find out though. Let's get back there. Go back here, make sure this is all hooked up right. Yeah, connected good. Just pull forward. Seems to do fine. We'll go up to the spigot by the house. Probably wait a while. It's probably gonna take a while to fill it up. And then we'll see how much capacity the garden holds and the orchard as well. I figured we'd head down to the garden first. I want to get this full of water. There's also, we need seeds and fertilizer for it. So we'll have to either, maybe we'll make a call and have it delivered, or we'll have to go to town and pick those things up as well. But let's go ahead and get this put in. And I'm tracking this on my tablet, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. So I got this cool app in here to help me track, and these are all my options that I could do. And I think we're gonna go with the seed fertilizer, the water, seed, and fertilizer, solid fertilizer approach. And like I said, we want tomatoes, lettuce, strawberries, maybe some potatoes, soybeans, and corn. And I think that would be a good start, as well as some apples going. So we'll need seeds for that and solid fertilizer as well. So we got 6,000 liters in here. You can see our tablet shows that's nowhere close to being full. So I'm gonna do a ton of loads here, get this filled up, and report back. Well, we got the garden all full. We're gonna head on up to the new orchard. And eventually I want to get some plumbing added so that we can have this done automatically for us. But for the time being, I'll have to take care of it. Struggling up this hill a little bit at 7 or 8 miles an hour. We might need more power long-term in our tractor setup. So lots to think about. $71,000 still. I want to start seeing that number go up soon instead of it constantly go down. And hopefully in a few months' time, we can start spending a little less money on groceries to really start getting into the green financially, and potentially sooner than later have one of us quit our jobs. Now, I'm not gonna completely fill up this one. We do have this nice tank here that has lines. You can see it going into the ground, and there's sensors on the soil area here to make sure that there's enough water in the ground. If we get rain, it won't use it. It's a pretty nice system. But let's go ahead and put this away in the shed, and then we're gonna have to make that trip to town to get some seeds and get that fertilizer. It's gonna be pretty expensive, I believe, for that fertilizer, but it should pay off in the long run. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump back into the truck now that that's put away. Head back into town. Get some seeds and fertilizer. Gosh, about $15,000 later. $12,000 later. What do we have a traffic jam going on here? Oh no. Got a stare off. Okay, we're gonna just sneak through like this. I don't know exactly what's happening there, but hopefully that gets resolved soon. But yeah, so we do have our first, I don't want to call it a problem, but potential problem. They did load these up for us real nicely, but we have no way of getting them off of here. Those are heavy bags. I can't lift them. So we're gonna have to bring the tractor in and get a front loader attachment added to it. So more expenses. Boy, I'm learning we have to spend a lot of money to get up and running. And I hope I'm doing this in a sane order. I got 4,000 liters of solid fertilizer, 6,000 liters of seeds. I have a feeling we'll go through the fertilizer a lot faster than the seed, but it's a start. Let's get home. We're gonna have to drive the tractor in since we won't be able to put it on the trailer. Now that I think through it, we'll have to take the back roads, but we'll be able to pull this off. Just a slow start this morning, but it's pretty exciting stuff. Okay, we'll leave the truck right there. Get these unstrapped though, so we don't have to do that later. And we're gonna jump on the International, head on into town, and get that new attachment. And I'm hoping that doesn't cost us too much money, because we're at 60,000. We're starting to run low here. Starting to run low, but I don't think we've made any mistakes or bad decisions yet. Wonder if they frown on this in town, but we're gonna go this way. We got our hazards on. Now this is a cool piece of equipment. We might need to get something like this long term. But they told me to pull right into this garage. I'll go wait in the lobby while they work on reconfiguring this for me and getting what I need all set up. And another $5,000 gone, but we got this nice front loader here. Move this around real nice, up and down. Move the forks a little bit. Let's see how high it goes. Oh, that's pretty impressive. Look at that. That should work out nice. So we'll go ahead and get this lowered, turn the front back like that. And we'll have to raise it. Maybe, yeah, we'll do that to drive it home. This is exciting. Starting to feel like a real farmer. We're gonna move things around with our tractor. Things are progressing real nice. $54,000 left. Traffic jam. I do like down here that we can't see the house. The terrain's kind of difficult to deal with on this farm. Would have been nice if the land was a little flatter, and it's costing us a little bit more money because of that, but it seems to be well worth it. Oh, look at the orchard and the retaining wall. That looks so nice from here. Oh, good stuff. A little steep hill for us to climb. I think we'll start with some seeds. Try to get those picked up off of here with these forks. Back up this way. Might be able to do 2 of these at a time. I don't know how much it's gonna hold. And just lift a little more. Oh, maybe we can't widen this enough. Let's see. Yeah, that's as wide as those forks are gonna get. Oh. Barely got this one. We barely got it. Okay. Just slowly back it up. And it's starting to drop in. And let's take a look at our tablet and see how well that's populating this. Okay, so the bar is pretty low. Let's grab, I guess, we have 6 bags. Let's do 4 of them right now in here. Okay, after adding 4 of them, it looks like, gosh, a lot would fit, but we're gonna be using 148 seeds per day, it looks like. So we'll see how long that lasts. But I do want to try to grab these fertilizers if I don't ruin them. Man, we need some practice with these forks. A little higher. A little too high now. There we go. We should be able to do the same with this. We'll get 2 of these put in here, and then we'll take the rest to the orchard. And the second one is finishing up right now, so let's go ahead and shut the tractor off for a second. Let's hop on in here and get some seeds planted. And you can see we got some corn, we got some soybeans going, we got some lettuce, Some potatoes, tomatoes, strawberries. This is gonna be pretty nice. Gonna be pretty nice. Wow, what a cool little setup we got going here. I think it'll be easier if we drive this over to the orchard, and we'll do that now, and then bring the tractor up to move the pallets around. Or not pallets, the bags around. Using the pallet forks. And then I think the next task today is gonna be cutting some of that grass and turning it into hay, because we need to recoup some of these costs. The beauty of this situation for us right now is we just need to learn a lot. We know we got jobs, we have income, so we got $54,000 to play with. I'm hoping to start seeing a profit eventually. But worst case scenario, we just hold tight and go to work and let these things just run themselves. It's gonna be a learning process. Ooh, the tractor doesn't really like 2 at a time, but it's more efficient this way. Let's pull forward just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we should start seeing apples growing, and well, you know, this time of year isn't the best for it, but getting that ground all situated and the tree getting all the nutrition it needs and the water it needs, and gotta be honest with you, I don't know why it needs seeds, but the mod does. We're gonna get the mower next, mow a good amount of this grass and work on turning that into hay. Try to, like I said earlier, try to recoup some of the cost of running business today. You know, this is a pretty huge grass field, and I don't want to tackle all of it at once. I do know it's about to start going dormant here, so we won't get much growth on it anytime soon. So this will be the last time we really get a chance to cut it this year. Let's back up just a little bit to get all of it. And I am going to start with this bottom line here, or bottom row, and start working our way up. But let's go ahead and go to the edge of the field, and we'll do, you know, maybe 4 or 5 passes here. Just doing this extra work on the weekend, make a little bit more cash. We'll just go straight right like that. Go ahead and turn around. Ooh, it does not like that slope. Turn the mower off for a second. Now that we're back here, we'll turn it back on. All right, get a decent amount of this cut today. And that should be a good amount. We got 5 rows here to ted up and then row again and then pick up. Good amount of work to do today, but I want to see what kind of money this brings in before spending time cutting all of that. And just being me doing this work in one tractor, just want to make sure we don't bite off more than we can chew. Okay, we got 3 beautiful rows of hay that we just need to pick up next. I'm gonna get this put away. If we can pull it up this hill and go from there. Well, there is some rain in the forecast today, so I'm gonna go and try to do, maybe we'll see if we can get 2 full loads of this. Based on how much we cut, I feel like it's a lot more than we did in September, but we'll find out soon enough. Get this all filled up and take it on over to that location where we sold it last time. Would be interesting to get a baler so we could store this and watch the market and really determine off of things like that if we're gonna sell on a given day. But oh, that's not a very good approach. I forgot about the angle we had. Let's go ahead and loop around this way if the tractor can handle it. Seems good. Just gotta keep shifting those gears. And we'll come in just like we did at the start here. Get this all activated. And cruise around and pick up some grass. Or hay, I guess I should say. And maybe this will be more than 1 load. But like I said earlier, we'll soon find out. Well, it's going to be close to a full load here. Let's see if this completely fills all the way up. I believe it'll hold 20,000 liters. Just a hair shy. I'm sure there's more around here we could pick up and just drive around. See a little bit there. What a crazy amount. Almost exactly a load. Man, I didn't even plan that. I was hoping for multiples. But pretty successful, I think. Oh, just 1 liter shy. Gotta be around here somewhere. It feels really heavy to pull, though. We're definitely gonna cruise pretty slowly. Let's go ahead and lower this and turn that back on, because I do see a little bit of hay up here. And we'll try to get a full 20,000 and then go over to that location and get it sold. See how much money this brings in for the month. It did fill it up. All right, let's head on out. And I'll let you know how we did. And if I remember correctly, it's just around here to get this sold. And hoping prices are good today. Like I said, having a baler to be able to store these until prices are the best would be nice, but we don't have that luxury right now, so we'll go ahead and get these things sold and see what we're doing. All right, right there should be good, and I feel bad about their cone. Knocked over a few of them. Get those back in place for them. I mean, we can try to. 3,500 bucks. Wow, so if I just was able to do that little amount, 1 load a month, that could replace my income. I know we didn't make a lot compared to what we spent today, but I feel like we have a decent path ahead of us to be financial. Let's get home, put things away, and we'll build a plan for next month. That's put away for the night, and that we'll probably attach that again next time. Let's head downstairs and see what's happening with the greenhouse. If there's anything to look at yet, I don't think there will be. Yep, still just plugging along over here. Be interesting tomorrow to see if we have any food that we can pick from there. I really like this retaining wall. I think it turned out great. So definitely a nice way to deal with the slope here, flatten some things out, make it safe. Huge terrain change, but some pretty apples coming in. Look at that. Those look delicious. Can't wait to pick those and try them. But let's go ahead, call it a night. Man, we need to get some decorations around here, make this feel a little bit more like a home. Maybe get a puppy, some things like a fire pit or something. But I'm gonna call it a night. I'll see you in November. What a beautiful November morning it is, and it's looking a little different around here. You can see the grass started overgrowing back into the area we cut over the last month or so. Some areas just haven't filled in yet. I'm gonna kind of let this go. It's like having a front yard finally, and you can see we put a nice fire pit in. We got some chairs around, and right now we just got some scraps in there, but we got plenty of firewood over here. just to hang out when it's a little cooler at night, what we've been doing. I'm gonna go ahead and take a jog down to the, yeah, nothing to see here. We're gonna take a jog down to our greenhouse, the garden. We should have some goods down there that we could potentially start eating and reduce our cost for goods and foods and groceries. Looks like we got a decent amount of strawberries, some corn, and some potatoes. Very nice. I think we'll get some lettuce next month, maybe some tomatoes, some soybeans soon. Yeah, those things are growing nice, progressing really well. I think what we'll do is we'll get the tractor real quick, put the front loader back on it, and we'll move those pallets into safekeeping, because those ones we're 100% going to be eating ourselves and not selling to make any type of profit. I'm hoping that we can produce enough goods to where we have leftovers to then be able to sell long term. But to start with, they're definitely going to be ours. And I think as we progress, you know, the goal is to not work anymore. Or, I mean, this is a lot of work. Not have a day job, but to be able to quit the day job so I can just focus on growing this farm and making it more profitable. This is step one right here. We'll reduce the grocery bill that's $1,000 a month right now, and this, you know, this is a good amount to start with. You know, I imagine corn and potatoes, we take that out of our budget, we might be down to maybe $900 still, and the forks are stuck in the ground. How is that even physically possible? I've been having nothing but problems with this tractor lately the last few days. I think super early to be doing this, but I might look for an upgrade. Might try to resell this and get something a little more powerful. I think that might be required. But let's go ahead and get the corn and the potatoes moved. And we probably could do both of these at once. I don't see why we couldn't. Just raise it like that and just slowly creep our way up here. A little bit lower there. Should be safe. Hopefully those potatoes hold on. Yeah, plenty of corn, plenty of potatoes. That'll be a nice part of our diet moving forward, I guess, until we get some more things. And having some type of meat would be nice. We'll have to figure that out too. Maybe chickens to start with. We could get some eggs, and then as they age, we could also, you know, sad as it is that they would be our own pets, we could butcher them for fresh poultry. We do have this nice little shed over here for sheep. It's, you know, like I mentioned, it's designed for sheep. We might be able to convert it for cattle, but I mean, this operation right now, it'd be nice to just be able to feed some sheep off of the land over there. So that's a possibility too. And we haven't sold all that grass yet. $56,000. We don't have a lot of money coming in. I think if we slow roll this, as we should, to be financially smart, we're kind of extended as far as loans go. I think we want to cut this whole thing and sell all the grass this year. Get an idea of how much grass we're producing during each cut and really make some decisions based off of that. But I am going to drive this into town, see if I can work my way into a deal to a nice little upgrade that doesn't break the bank too much, keeping in mind that we need some way to treat this field, whether that's leasing, paying someone to do it for us, or us doing it ourselves. So I would like to get some fertilizer put down between now and in spring before it starts growing again, and potentially eventually figuring out a way to make this multiple fields. So I'd like to get something like wheat going, get a nice grain, maybe make some flour. It's another opportunity for some food at home, and then maybe some chickens, because I know they like wheat as well. Long-term goals, not short-term, long-term. Well, we're down about $16,000 after buying this, but we got this case 2390 with a front attachment, the front loader. And I think this will be a nice upgrade for the farm. Let's go ahead. I put my, yeah, the pallets are right here. Let's get those attached. We can get home. Our new baby here. Nice older tractor, nice white case tractor. I haven't used one of these before. I haven't seen one of these before in my life. But again, got a nice traffic jam this morning. We're gonna head back into the house, and I'm gonna hook up to the mower, and we're gonna finally get that whole grass field cut. Thought I'd try backing up this time instead of pulling forward and doing that circle, but that hill causes it to be pretty rough to back up the hill. I'm kind of thinking through this field size is decent. If we did half of this like a wheat field and half of it the grass field, we could start producing a decent amount of feed for animals. And I've been listening to some farming podcasts, and they're talking about silage, hay, and a combination of that with some straw, making this product that they call TMR that they feed to. It's like a total mixed ration, I guess is what it's called. It's a mixture of things that they give cattle. And being an operation that potentially could supply feed to farmers that aren't necessarily producing it themselves in the area, it's kind of intriguing to me long term. It's, we're maxed out with our loans. Unless we get a decent amount of funds or can prove that we can make a decent amount of money off of the farm to maybe start a business and have a business loan separate from the mortgage, it's risky. But just thinking of things that I want to do long term when we are doing this full time. And boy, it's going to take a minute to cut this field. Well, you can see we didn't cut the entire field because, man, it was going to take forever. And I did want to get some income coming in this weekend while I'm off work. And also wanted to start building kind of a field layout here that can get us prepped for when we want to start planting crops. And I'm thinking I want to look into doing some type of crop in the spring that I could turn around by the time fall comes. So like a quick crop, and what I was reading, oats might be our best option for that. So I think we're going to work on slowly getting the equipment for that. And boy, this thing is just getting stuck in gears. Got to help it every once in a while. Automatic seems to be going on it, but I also noticed if I get onto the road here, it just seems to drive a lot better. So we'll put the mower away. Yeah, you can see a nice little field layout, and I think that's where I want to do a separate field right there. I don't want to put it right in front of the house because, like we mentioned a couple months ago, I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with the house layout, and that is a temporary living situation. So we don't want to encroach on any of our land with fields, but I definitely want to put one there. We did the whole headland a couple times, I think 3 times around before I just made that decision. So we'll get that all done, but we got all winter to cut the rest of that grass, and I do want to get it cut and done before snow gets here, but we'll figure it out. We're learning as we go, and I don't want to overwhelm myself because I think I'm going to struggle to be able to get the rest of this process done today. And I'm bringing the tedder out, and I noticed it looks like we just missed my wife. She was down here picking some veggies, and I'll have to get these moved for us. We got some tomatoes and more strawberries. The strawberries are going crazy. We're not going to go through that many strawberries before they go bad, so we might want to look into selling those. And I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. She is, I'm not, but if they produce that fast, we might have to figure out a way to sell those as well, and that'll be one of the next things that I try to discover is what exactly or how we're going to make money off of those. Are we just going to sell them out of the house? Are we going to potentially, why is that not working? So we're going to break character for a second, and we're going to all pretend that this is the tractor we went and bought earlier. And this is the implement that we bought a while back. I could get the other tedder back, but it doesn't make sense to me. I think we'll just use this one. Was having trouble, those, mods, and all mods aren't created equal, and that one was having issues with tedders, so we weren't going to be able to use it, so I replaced it with this one. Is one I was also looking at. Has about the same horsepower, so I'm not going to take a financial hit here. It just is what it is. Sorry for breaking the immersion, but I wanted to explain what you're seeing. So working our way up the hill here, I want to see how well the tedder is going to work. seems to be doing pretty good. We can almost get 3 rows. Man, it would be nice if we could. It looks like we're getting about 2.5 there. But we'll get this all tedded up, and then I need to wind row it. We'll rake it into rows and start picking it up with the forage wagon. It's going to be a lot of trips, but I'm hoping it's pretty good cash too. Well, that was quite the job. Felt like that took much longer than any other tedding session that we've done. Should be well worth it though. That means it's going to be a lot more profitable than any other session we've done too. I shouldn't say profitable, I should say income generating. We might want to look at the market for a bigger rower eventually, because this thing's kind of puny. Now that we're doing bigger chunks, it feels like we are somewhat outgrowing it, but we'll make do today. I do think if we want to start making this into a business and not just for our own, a little bit bigger equipment is going to be required. So let's go ahead and start at the bottom and work our way around. Let's lower that. Get far enough over. Missing a little bit there, but I think it'll be okay. And we'll get this all rowed up and then probably take a little lunch break before I start collecting it to sell it. And I will check around to make sure this is the best location right down the road, price-wise. I know there's other places that we could sell it in town that might be offering more money in November than they were in September and October. I think that's where we're going to take a break with rowing and just get some of this sold. I think it would be, yeah, just my own sanity. I definitely think we'll be looking into a bigger rake, but I want to make some money because you can't just spend money all the time. And I think what we're going to do is there's a local Facebook group for people that are like selling produce and, oh man, why is this being a pain? There's a local Facebook marketplace type thing for advertising things that you're selling, and it's a really nice little setup. So we're gonna, get our account all added to that group, and then we will set up a stand here. I think we'll just set it up at the house to start with and advertise on there that we're selling food or veggies, and you know what I mean. Let's turn around here. Go up first and then around so we can pick up these that we missed. But yeah, I think that'll be a good way to start making money. We'll see what kind of income we're getting because, like I said, it might just be the strawberries and a little bit of the tomatoes at first. If we get more corn in December, we could sell that because we have more than enough for us for probably a year right now. We'll have to do some canning so we can make these things last. So those are the plans, but I figured we'd make a little bit of cash right now because that was taking way longer than I thought. Haven't even gotten my lunch break yet. Just a little over halfway around the headland and we are full. I'm gonna go ahead and pull over, check out that app the other farmers were telling me about. And it's pretty much the same price everywhere right now. So we will head over to that same spot, sell 20,000 liters here, come back for more. I think we're gonna make, gosh, maybe close to 15,000 today. Need to start getting onto the market and checking out plows and seeders. See what kind of budget we're gonna need for that. I'm hoping all this hay can pay for it and we can keep this balance at around 40,000. Getting that farmer's market going will help financially as well. Haven't really talked to the wife yet, but I think we're pretty close to me quitting. Talking quiet in case she's around here. I want to quit my job. So I'm hoping we make a decent amount of money to start having that conversation this month. Maybe like work through Christmas and then just not go back after Christmas break. At least that's what I'm thinking. Tentative plans. We need to clean up these pieces of wood out here. These branches are just all over this road, but that's a problem for another day. So let's go ahead and get this sold, get more, and Make a lot of trips back and forth, back and forth. It sure would be nice to be able to just bale this up, put it on a trailer, bring it all at once. Maybe someday. Maybe someday we can afford that type of equipment, but not today. Let's back on up. We lost it big time. We lost it big time. I notice my problem backing up is I go too fast. And then it makes overcorrections a problem. All right, should be, you know, about 3,500, I'm guessing is what we get here. 3,587. So 4 more trips would be well more than that 15,000. And I think we'll definitely have at least 3 more trips or 4 more trips today. Okay, time to get busy. Taking 2 other loads so far, and we're just finishing up some of the scraps that we left around the headland before we switch back to the rake. It's looking good. It is looking pretty darn good. And just cleaning up this spot as well. Yeah, I just need to re-rake out here. And man, I mean, we're already at about $10,000 for the day. And a little bit more in here right now. But I am going to go ahead and shut that off and place it right here. And with that money, I do want to, let's look at the catalog. I want to see what we have on the market for windrowers that might be worth it. I mean, this one might be a little bit better. Its width is 6.5, and the one we have is 3. So that, I think that would be more than worth it. Go with that setup. Should be good. Well, I've thought through it, and I think it is the right decision to try to trade this in for a different one. Let's go ahead and sell this for, you know, 400 bucks there. And we'll get, you know, we're going to look at a few things. Well, I spent about $11,000, and yeah, we need to get these things loaded. Got a nice subsoiler and the rake, and this is going to make things a lot easier. I'm spending a little more cash than I wanted to, but it'll work out. There were a lot of good options, but I think these were the best in our price range. This rake's a lot larger or wider, and this subsoiler will work to plow up the ground. And some of the other plows I was looking at, they just required a lot more horsepower than we have. So this is what we're gonna go with. It won't, from what I understand, it won't get as deep into the ground as a plow would, but it should suffice. And I think right here is a good spot. We'll go ahead and unfold that. And I'll go get the tractor and hook this up. And let's see if we can just pull this off after hooking it up. Not bad. All right, let's see. I decided to go with the red so we could tell the difference between the tedder and the rake. So that should be good. Let's just lower it. It's all we should have to do. And you know, it might not be much wider than what we're working with, but it feels like it is. It's a little bit wider. I think this will be much more enjoyable moving forward. And that worked out really nice. Let's go ahead and go up top and get the forage wagon again so we can get all of this hay out of the way and sold, so we can start plowing our first ever field. Well, after 2 other loads have been taken and sold, we're getting this 3rd one again. Just about completely full. So we'll go and get our money for this. And it seems like we pretty much paid for the subsoiler and rake there. And we'll see how we're sitting. I was hoping to be at about $54,000 to end the month, and I think we're probably going to be. All right, here we go. Last selling event of the day. Let's see, I get above 54. I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be just below. 53,615. We got 3,400 on that one. We spent a good amount of money today, and the balance sheet has stayed pretty even. I think we've done pretty well. We're gonna go start working on at least the outline of that new field with the subsoiler, see how that implement works for us. Hopefully it's good enough. I'm really worried about having enough power to pull it uphill, but we'll find out. It'll be really sad if we have to go to the top of the hill and plow downwards every single pass. That's gonna take some time. But we got until spring to get this prepped. That's why I'm starting it now. See you in a few. All right, it's time to get this all prepped and started. I want to stay somewhat away from the road. About right here, probably. Let's go ahead and lower this. And it's already a field, so it should just... Why is it sinking so much? Oh, wow. It's getting real deep in there. Maybe this is doing it better than I thought it would. But let's go ahead and head straight down now. Let's see exactly how well this is gonna handle the hill. I'm a little worried, like I've mentioned a few times. Do we have enough power? Getting a little close to the road now. Let's come back about right there. All right. Get this outline done, but I'll report back if we do have issues going uphill. All right, moment of truth. 4 miles an hour. It seems to be able to handle it. We just have to stay here in first gear most of the way. 5 miles an hour. Okay, it's not terrible. Try second gear now. 6 miles an hour. Okay, I think this is doable. It's just going to take some time. Kind of the situation we have with this crazy terrain here. And we'll make the best of it. Now, I don't know, this might be a way larger of a first field than I should be starting with, but go big or go home. I guess the house is right there. That wouldn't be very far to go home. And we'll just connect it like so. Again, leaving enough room for cars. I don't want cars to, you know, just slide off the road a little bit and ruin our crops. Just seems to be the wise thing to do. So we'll do another outline here, give us room to turn around before we do ups and downs, but somewhat of a skinny field, so it shouldn't take too long with this implement. Seems like the sun's getting close to setting already. Yeah, starting to peek behind the mountain there. We'll get as much done as we can while we still have daylight. It's gotten pretty dark, and I think I'm just gonna finish this. I know my time's pretty limited with work and everything, so some of these nights have got to go late, and it's, you know, it's only 5:30 and it just gets dark early in November, so we just got to keep going. These lights seem to be good enough. I'm not really losing track where I am. Able to see really good out here with these lights. And we're almost done, so we might as well finish. And this should be the very last spot. And boy, has it gotten dark in the last few minutes. So dark. There's a little spot that we missed to the left there that we were exposing with the lights. Now let's just grab that. And boy, this tractor is making me proud. I don't think we could have done this with that farm all that we had. Wise decisions. Some were comical, some were because of mods not being good, but that's where we're gonna leave you in November. Hopefully we can get some of these veggies and fruits sold next month. Start opening up our own farmers markets. Start becoming a much more profitable little homestead. It's December. The weather is a little scary out here. It's pretty cold. It's been snowing. We got the cover off of the greenhouse because we were just, you know, harvesting a bunch of stuff in there, and we've gotten our new farm shop set up. You can see we got some potatoes over here. We got some lettuce, some strawberries, and tomatoes. And I figured we'll get these things sold or try to sell them. We're advertising on Facebook, like we mentioned. Try to get that all going, and pretty much the grass is going to be dormant. We can't really plant the oats like we want to until spring. It's going to be a lot of just taking care of the open garden here and selling goods to people as they come. Started growing sunflowers as well. And we did make a little adjustment to our budget. Because of all the food we have coming in, we've reduced our food budget to $503 a month. So now our monthly expenses are $3,900, with our income being around $4,400 a month. We're getting closer to me being able to quit, and I think we need to go through probably a lot more time and see how we do selling these goods before we decide for me to quit my job. But we're getting closer to that, so I think what I'm going to do is shut the camera off and kind of just enjoy the winter and see how much of this we sell and let you know how it goes later on. It's starting to get dark, and I thought I'd do a little update on how we're doing. We have almost 1,500 potatoes left, just under 400 lettuce, 1,200 strawberries, almost 400 tomatoes, but we've made close to $1,000 in sales today. It's been insane. This seems like a great business model as we get more inventory and more people learn about this. I think this could be a good way of making money. At least it's a good first start. This little farm shop going. We'll just keep on pressing on with this and see how things progress over the winter. Keep checking in with you. Oh, well, we're getting prepped this morning. We had a big run last night. We sold out of tomatoes and lettuce. I'm trying to get these populated back. So we do have some goods in here. I just need to get things rolling. And we'll get some more sold today. But just setting up. You can see we got the tent back up on the greenhouse. Still super dark. Hoping people do show up today to buy some more goods. We're at $54,000. Things are going up for us this winter. And there's a place in town that was wanting to buy the corn. So I think I'm going to do that later today. And from what I understand, these 3 crates here are going to be about $4,000 worth of corn. Pretty exciting. A lot of corn that we've grown this year, so I'm gonna keep pressing on. It's January. It's been pretty cold. We'll get business open here in a little bit, and hope we have a good day selling. We're running low on goods though, because this is going pretty good. And one thing I did want to show is back here we're storing everything that we want for our own food, and we're gonna can all that up, and we'll go through that, and that's how we're keeping our food separate from the food we want to sell. And I'm just getting back from selling those goods. We made $4,400 on the corn. Boy, we're at 59,000. If we can get to like 70,000 or so before spring, that would be pretty awesome. But if it's teaching us anything, it's that we do have a decent business model going, and we just need to keep growing and keep progressing, get more options for us to make money. I'm thinking potentially getting some bees for honey, I think would be a good next step. But yeah, we'll do a little harvest session in here, get more over to the shop, keep pushing on. Things are slowing down a little bit in sales. We do got a lot of strawberries, tomatoes, and potatoes left, and a little bit of lettuce. Yeah, it's still growing, but look at so much snow. We've gotten so much snow this year. I'll check in with you when spring gets here. It is a beautiful March morning, and you can see we're at 70, just over 70,000. This thing's been doing wonderful for us. We still got some strawberries, tomatoes, and lettuce to sell. We've ran out of potatoes at this point. But gosh, this thing's producing well. We're gonna have to debate this year about potentially getting a second one of these open gardens, and we haven't even harvested our apples yet. We got a ton of apples on that tree. I was looking at it. They're starting to bud this time of year. For role play's sake, we're gonna harvest those in July. But I need to head to the store, and we're gonna go ahead and buy a seeder today because I do want to get oats in the ground. That is the next goal. And then long term, we'll probably have to look into leasing a harvester this year because 70,000's not gonna cut it, and we got to be wise with our money. But I think for the first year, just leasing some equipment from other farmers or the dealership will probably be the best call. So let's go ahead, let's go see what they have for seeders for us, and we'll go from there. It should be a exciting morning. Well, we're getting to know these guys pretty well. We'll see what they have today. Hopefully there's some good deals for us. and I'll show you what we picked up momentarily. For $5,000, this old International Harvester 5100 seeder is ours. And for another, gosh, 2,100 bucks or so, we got some seed and fertilizer. The seeder does have a compartment to do fertilizer, so we'll be able to do that in one go. And then figuring out later in the season when we need to fertilize it again, we'll have to figure out if we want to get a spreader, a sprayer, maybe just pay someone to come fertilize it for us. But we're gonna get home, hook this up to the tractor, get it all filled up. We're gonna get some oats in the ground. This is exciting stuff. Beautiful stuff. Well, over the winter, I had a few soil samples looked at by some local farmers, and they had some equipment to test the pH levels and everything on it to see if we needed to apply lime, and they thought we could get away with maybe another year before we need to put lime down. So this field should be really just ready. And the other thing that's like somewhat interesting is I might end up paying somebody to come in and fertilize this grass for us so it'll grow better, because it's probably going to be, gosh, April when this is ready to be cut again, because you can see it's already growing really good here in March, and we never really got to cut all of it. So I guess maybe we just focus on getting more of this cut. And gosh, could have done that over the winter, but it was just so much snow. So I'm gonna get the tractor, get this rolling. I feel sick to my stomach. We have planted this without the recording button on. So to give you a little update, a recap, we planted this, struggled a little bit going up the hill. Oh, what a disaster. What a disaster. But yeah, we got this planted. I didn't have the camera on. And right now we're cutting some more of this grass, but it doesn't seem as thick as it was before winter, even though we've never cut this area. What a disaster. Got to remember to turn on the camera, dude. So what I decided to do today, the rest of the day, is we're cutting some of this. Oh, that was fun. A little too fast there. To make a little bit of cash, even though the farmer's market's doing really good for us. We're wanting to get about 6 rows of this cut, tedded up and all of that. And man, I feel so bad about that. No way, like, I apologize. There's no way I'm re-recording that. I don't even know if I would have a backup file that would be... Oh, things happen. Things happen, but we got the second application of fertilizer in because that seeder did have a fertilizer tank, and we have all of that going. One of the things I do want to look into is how we're going to treat the weeds next. But now that this mowing session's done, we're going to go get the tedder. And I think for the time being, I'm just going to leave this right here, because we're going to cut next month as well. We're just trying to do enough grass to make money to see if we can go the whole year, at least till harvest season, making my income by just cutting some grass so I can justify quitting. Because right now, I just can't really justify it. We're making extra money, you know, like about $2,500 a month from my income. Nah, just a little under that, probably about $2,100. And I'm doing everything around the farm that I need to do in my free time. So one of the things that we've talked about, oh, looks like we have some corn and potatoes down there. But one of the things that we talked about was not getting animals until one of us is here all the time, because we know that's going to be a little bit more of a demand on us than everything else I've been doing right now. Well, one of the things I was thinking about was bees. They would be a little lower maintenance, but then chickens as well. And I would really like some cattle. I don't know about sheep. Sheep would be fun too, just to have them, but I just don't know what kind of financial gain we would get from them. I do know we could get some older cattle that already are producing milk and find someone that's willing to get rid of theirs, or if we could, that would be an option, and start making money off of that. And then when they get a certain age, you know, get some nice burgers made out of them. But those are the ideas we're going with. And just need to back up because I didn't have this implement activated yet. There we go. And I don't know how much money this is going to bring in. We do have the rake right behind me right now, so we'll be able to rake this up pretty quickly. But this doesn't look as thick as it did in the fall. So I think some of that snow really smashed it down, and we had a little bit of it just, it didn't stand up, and we weren't able to cut it, I guess. But we did have an awesome planting session. We'll have to figure out the weeds probably in April, and then we're gonna have to figure out probably leasing something to harvest. Okay, now let's try not to drive on our crop here. I think driving on the hay would be better than the freshly planted field. But we'll go ahead and get the rake and get this all rode back up so we can then pick up the hay and get it sold. Those are the plans the rest of the day. You can see why I went with a different color. These are super similar implements. But one just shoots it in the air and kind of dries it out, and the other one helps it look a little more organized and easy to pick up. Make sure we get far enough over to pull all of this back to the grass field area. Just up and down like probably 4 times here. Or up and down twice, I guess. Should give us 4 nice rows. Pick up and sell, and they're not as large as they used to be, but we'll be fine. We're learning here. And rowing's all done. Seems like a quick way to do it. Just a little bit per day until I have the time to really dedicate to cutting the whole thing and treating the whole thing. And I know we'd probably make more money if we did it that way. All right, all there is to do now is drive up and down 4 times and hope that this gives us at least a full load here. But I have my doubts. I have my doubts that it's a little less than a full load. And you know, there's only one way to find out. It's just to get it done. Well, it doesn't seem very close to being full. So I think next month I'll cut probably twice of what we cut right now. Maybe just add, one more pass. I'm not really sure, to be honest. But I'm going to go head over to our favorite location and see how much money this is going to bring us. And I need fuel. We need to find a gas station. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Oh, the train. The train scared me. 2,200. All right, so between the veggies that we're selling and the strawberries and the hay that we just sold, we're making money. We spent a decent amount today on stuff that we needed, but we're not going to have to buy a seeder anytime soon. I do know that I'll probably want to have to figure out how to treat the weeds in the field. That'll be my next thing in April. Moving around some pallets and harvesting some veggies out of the greenhouse or the garden with the wife will be the next thing that we do tonight. So we get that prepped for the farmer's market tomorrow. I'm going to take the back roads into town, head over to the gas station, and get some diesel for this Case IH. Hopefully we make it before running out, but we'll go ahead and put our hazards on. Just let people know that we know this shouldn't be on the road, probably. This looks like a stupid car. This looks like a pretty popular place. Oh, there's this tractor over here. Let's get this filling up. What do we got here? A lizard. It's a nice tractor. We just spent $1,700 on fuel. Oh boy. That's an expense I didn't think about. Okay, it is April. It's early in the morning. I'm going to try to sneak in a good day of work before I head into my job. But at some point this month, we need to either get something to spray these weeds or get a hoe here to take care of them. But I think before work, I am going to cut a few rows. And it looks like the growth is much longer, kind of like it was last year when we were cutting it. So I think maybe that original plan that I had of the 3 rows a day, or 6 rows a day, I guess, we'll give that another shot, and hopefully we make about $4,000. Maybe it'll double. Maybe it won't quite double, but this is a good learning opportunity. And from what I was talking to a buddy of mine, we need to fertilize this grass field too. And they do have some spreaders that aren't too expensive that we might be looking into, but wanted to get a good jump start on here before I head to work. Or I got to be there by 8, so we got, a little bit over an hour and a half here. hour and maybe 20 minutes to get some work done before I need to start getting ready. Not much more than last month, but 74%, you know, we're okay. We're okay. Gonna head on in, get this sold, and it looks like I got just enough time to get ready for work after I get back. Pretty productive day. It looks like the farmer's market's all sold out as well at this point. Business is booming. We might need to expand. Okay, moment of truth again. About 2,200 bucks is what I'm expecting here. 2,400. That'll do it. Well, we spent about $7,000 on a couple implements, had them delivered. This is a hoe that will take care of the weeds over there. And this is a little fertilizer setup to spread some fertilizer that we're gonna do later after I get off work. Well, this implement seems to hook up well and get, you know, pulled by the tractor fine so far. Seem to be very compatible. Just kind of interested to see how well this takes care of the weeds and if we're gonna damage any of these crops by driving in here. That lowered. I imagine we just kind of drive around and it picks the weeds for us. Going pretty good. Pulling me a little bit to the side, but we can handle that with the steering wheel. Yeah, this seems to be beyond perfect. Well, I think this is where I need to take a break. I went around the entire field twice. So we have just the middle of the field to do, but I gotta head in and get ready for work. So I'm gonna just pull this over here, set it aside for now. Head on into the job. And we're gonna try to get some stuff done tonight to get this finished. Well, we've been home for a while and we got the weeding done, so there's no more weeds. And I wanted to try out this fertilizer spreader. And I think it would be wise to get as much of this done as we can. It came with preloaded, which is kind of nice. I figured it would be wise to get all the areas that we cut today done first, prioritize that, and then fertilize the areas that we cut last month. But I think the way this is dropping here, we should be able to get this whole field re-fertilized. Seems to be working pretty good. Go ahead and just loop around here. We'll shut it off for a second. Go about right there. That seems to be doing the trick. Going uphill, struggling still. But that's just life. The way we got to get used to things. The way we got to get used to it, struggles uphill. Can fly downhill. We are all complete with our chores today. Didn't even use the entire hopper full in this spreader. Everything's fertilized that needs fertilized. The oat field didn't need a second application because there was enough fertilization in the ground when we cultivated it. So that took care of the first application for that. But this spreader, I think I am going to put away in the shed. I'm going to use all of that other equipment next month, so I'm just going to leave it right there. But this one, we might not use for a little bit. Probably use it next month too, now that I think about it, but it'll be okay to come get it. I did want to check on the garden as well. Make sure everything's looking good there. Make sure we don't need to add any more seed or fertilizer. Make sure we have enough in storage for that. And it looks like we'll be able to get some more soybeans soon, some more sunflowers, potatoes, and corn. Probably some lettuce as well, but yeah, looking good. I'll catch you in May. Welcome back to Homestead. We are selling some hay this morning, getting a little work done before work. That sounded redundant, didn't it? A little work done before work. But we're selling a little bit of hay. We cut the rest of the field that we haven't cut yet, so everything has been cut once at this point. We'll go pick up the rest of it, making $3,100. Seems like money's pretty good for hay right now. But I got a few plans today that I want to do. We're going to do a little expansion. The farmer's market's been going really good so far for us, and I think it's time to step it up. But we're going to get the rest of this sold, see where our money's sitting. We're looking pretty good financially at this point, and I was taking a look at the apple orchard. I really think we have a huge cash cow in that orchard that we're gonna see here in the month of June. It's gonna be exciting. But let's go back, get the rest of these shavings of hay picked up and get them sold, and then get to working on some new adjustments to the farm. Here we are doing another load. I feel like in this documentary that we're making of my journey of this homestead, that we've done a lot of hay picking up. So what I'm gonna do, shut the camera off for a little bit, and I'll rejoin you when we have our total amount for the day that we've made. Well, just got back from selling the last load of the goods, and we're sitting at $70,000 now. We got, as the day gets started, we will have some people coming in buying some goods, but the greenhouses have been doing really well. Such a good business model that I didn't think it would be. But I think we're going to double down, if not triple down on this and get a few more of these rolling because they're bringing in some money. And like I said, the apples are going to bring in some money, but we're going to have a company come out, flatten some of this land for us. It's going to cost us $10,000 to get the land flattened. And then we'll see about how many greenhouses we want to add down here. But I think I really want to dive deep into that business model as there seems to be a good market for those type of goods in this town. Sometimes things don't go as planned, and this thing has cost us a lot of money. I still need to smooth this out so we can get down here and treat all of this. Boy, look at this greenhouse, this open garden, ton of modules in here. We're gonna have to go get a huge amount of seed and fertilizer. Oh boy, what did we get ourselves into? I have a feeling this is gonna be super, super profitable though. And we're adding some water now. We got a little bit of seed and fertilizer. You can see, man, this thing's looking sweet. We got rows and rows and rows of everything. This is absolutely gonna be a huge way to make money. Huge retaining wall. I think it looks fancy. To be honest with you, this terrain and this slope has been way harder to deal with than I thought it would be. And this has been the solution, is to build these retaining walls, flatten out the land. Got all of that way above us, and you can really see how big the slope is. It was just getting outrageous to deal with. So we're gonna do quite a bit of trips to get the water all filled up, and then we will probably head to the store, get more seed, more fertilizer, make sure this thing is really populated so that we can get as much profit as possible from it. And from what I've seen so far, this is really going to pay for itself really fast. Well, we spent about $10,000 on seed and fertilizer, and they were delivered in a very strange location. We're gonna I guess we're gonna just have to move those ourselves, and hopefully this works. But we'll get them all set up. And yeah, let's see, is this done emptying? Okay, so let's move around. It's gonna be pretty fun to try to deal with this area here, but I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna have my wife, just as she harvests them, take them over to the farm shop, and that should work that way really well. Let's get this out of the way for now. Cruise around up here, get these seeds added, get all the fertilizer added, and it's gonna be interesting to see how much more profitable this farm becomes. Let's go into this mode, see if we can see better. No, that's a negative. Raise it up. We'll just grab this one. And we'll do them one at a time. Get the seeds all added, get the fertilizer all added. And then I think we're gonna make another field. So big investment today. It didn't add a ton of fertilizer and seed. We're gonna have to really populate this thing a lot, spend a lot of money on seed and fertilizer, but I think it'll be well worth it. Let's get all this stuff put away, and then it's time to get figuring out how to make a new field, because I want to plant something in the fall. All right, here we are. What is, oh, that's the hoe. It's the wrong thing. We grabbed the wrong implement. Okay, let's go ahead and get this new field established. We kind of talked about doing a feed lot originally. I don't think that's what I want to do. I want to do some small fields here and a lot of vegetables like we're doing down there. Like, this view is sweet. Got the house up here. And I think we're just going to turn this into another field. You can see there might have been a little accident up there where we drove through the crop, and a little one at the bottom as well, where we're learning our lessons. But we'll go ahead and cruise up kind of like this. I think that's good. We'll have some grass growing around the areas, but we might sell some of that equipment because it doesn't seem to be as profitable as some of these other options. And I think, you know, being a farmer and actually having crops and not just grass is way more attractive to me than I thought it would be, as I'm getting into this farming stuff and this homesteading, where we originally wanted this just to be a homestead where we're living off the property. But I'm really enjoying some of this farming. I want to take it a step further. So we'll continue on making this new field, but I don't think we're going to have an opportunity to plant anything until closer to fall. We'll do something, maybe some wheat or barley potentially. And we could find some local farmers in the area that would want to buy the straw from us that we could generate from wheat or barley. But I think that's our best plan. To be honest with you, the slope of this land, I underestimated it. It's very, very annoying to work with. So I think turning this into a brand new field, some type of cereal crop, maybe corn someday. That's what I'm thinking. Well, it looks like we have finally completed the plowing session. And I did figure out if I go this direction, left to right, I guess, instead of up and down, much easier to deal with. Let's get this implement put away. And we'll have to learn a little bit about what crop types can be planted in which months, but I believe we're gonna have to wait till fall to get anything put into this field. We could do some fertilizer on it just to get the state of the soil a little bit better, but like I said, this is part of the group that we had soil sampled, so we do not need to put any lime down. And just wasn't really enjoying the hay, and I didn't feel like it was profitable enough. And really want to focus on food that humans can eat and not necessarily animals. There's a lot of competition for animals around town, and I figured we might as well find something uniquely that we can do ourselves. Productions are going good. We do have a little bit of corn and sunflowers. I'm trying to decide what we're gonna do with the sunflowers and a little bit of soybeans, but let's go ahead and get the corn and soybeans sold. I'm gonna get the truck. We'll get those loaded up on the trailer and go from there. And just taking a quick little peek at how things are looking over here. We got plenty of potatoes, lettuce, strawberries, tomatoes. Doing pretty well. Now, it looked like corn and soybeans were a little oversaturated in town, so we are going to a shipping yard here that's gonna send it out of town for us somewhere where the demand's a little bit higher. We should get more money that way. So that's what we're heading to right now. Okay, this says train. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Oh, so we have to unload. Interesting. Just for this little bit of corn and soybeans. There it comes. Here comes the train. We got just a little bit here. Good moisture, apparently. Let's see what kind of money we get. Almost $300 to lease the train and $7,200 in products sold. We're at $37,000. And I think that's where I'm gonna shut the camera off for the day. We're gonna go get some fuel, fill up the truck, relax the rest of the day, because June and July are gonna be busy. We're gonna have a harvest. We gotta harvest a whole ton of apples. Oh man, it's been a rough June morning. It took a couple days for my wife and I to get all of these apples loaded up. You see there's still more to pick. We'll let that kind of deal with itself later, but 50,000 liters of apples. We're gonna start June by making some cash selling a ton of apples. I'm not really sure what the going rate is. I did shop around and found the place that was offering the most money for it, so we're gonna head there right now. And we might do a second step to the apples. We might make some apple juice or maybe some apple cider long term. Things looking good over here. We got plenty of pallets over there that need to be moved. Oh man, things are looking up and up. What is going on over here? We should be close. I think this is gonna be ready to harvest in a couple weeks. It's exciting, but we'll see if this gives us enough cash. You know, seeing that we're at $86,000, the farmers market is booming. It is booming. It's going insane now that we added that second greenhouse or open garden. As I keep calling it a greenhouse, it's really a garden. And we're starting to kind of conquer the farmers market in town, and it's everything we hoped for. So we're extremely close for both of us to be able to quit our jobs and really focus on this farm. So yeah, yesterday we sold $46,000 in goods. That included some of the stuff that we sold at the train station, but we've also sold $26,000 so far in June. And it's, we're both gonna quit our jobs this month. It is glorious. Believe it's right here. Oh, how did that happen? Don't look there. Oh, that's the exit. You doofus. All right, we come in right here. Yep, entrance. And then we'll have to figure out exactly where Lizard's logistics once this stuff dropped off to be sold. I believe we just loop around the building, cruise around here. You know, the guy who sold us the orchard told us this is going to be super profitable for us. Right now, we're about to find out if we can figure out there's the location. All right, I got an idea how to approach that. Come in like so, and we'll give this a shot. Jackknifed a little bit, and my word, $89,000 just for apples. We are absolutely quitting our jobs, even if that's once a year. And then we have the farmer's market on top of that. What a glorious day. Heading home now, we're gonna check the market, and instead of leasing, we potentially might buy a combine. But things are on the up and up for us. It's a little quicker than I anticipated, but we've made some of the correct decisions here. And there's gonna be more and more apples throughout the fall to sell. So I think I am gonna look into getting that apple juice production. I'm passing this guy. They need to change the speed limit in this town. But yeah, like I was saying, we're gonna look into getting that apple juice production, which would increase our revenue even more with the apple orchard. And I need to look at what all those pallets were that are for sale and make sure we're giving ourselves enough food, because we are a profitable farm and it's gonna be glorious to not go back to work. Oh, our paths constantly cross. I'm not sure exactly. These are seeds? Oh, wow. Okay, so sunflower seeds, and I think we have more up here. Do we have more seeds? We do, just one crate, but that's really got my mind ticking on some things we could do with this. I'm gonna do some research online, and we might be expanding even more today. Well, I spent about $30,000 on 2 new productions, and let's go ahead and take a look at them over here. We have this windmill here, which should allow us to make some sunflower oil. So we'll deposit the sunflowers in here. It'll produce it. The sunflower oil will spit out here, but then over here as well, we should be able to just put apples in this production and get some apple juice. Let's take a look at the required materials. Yeah, just 5 apples makes 4 apple juice. We could also do grape juice, but we do not have grapes. And we take a look at this one, which apparently the front door is right here. So this could create flour, barley flour. As we are growing oats, we could create oat flour, but our main thing we're gonna focus on is sunflower oil. And then in return, we can sell the sunflower oil and the apple juice potentially at the farmer's market. So let's grab the little bit of apples that have been produced since we've done our selling event. Definitely need to improve this hill here to make this a little bit of an easier job. But this will just be one of our tasks every morning, and it'll seem like it's automatically distributing over there. All right, so apples go over yonder. There, it took them. And then now if we jump back into this production, should just activate. And then this, I'm going to change to selling. The next step is to get all the sunflower seeds, not seeds. Yeah, I guess they are sunflower seeds, on over to the oil production. Oh, Houston, we have a problem. Okay, with the grant that we have to open that. Got to get that door open to have the sunflowers be able to go into the production. And we come in here, we grab sunflowers, and we will nope, we don't want to buy. We want to go down to over here. Activate, and oil, I want to change this to distributing, and that should distribute it to the farm shop here where we will get oil. We can go ahead and activate that, and then we'll change that type automatically sells missing materials. That is fine. It'll start producing them, and it should send them over on the top of the hour. And look at that, it's working. Time to get the rest of the sunflowers over here. 255 liters here. We're gonna swing around and get those all dropped off, and what a glorious day. Gonna be able to turn in the 2 weeks notice. We're gonna be able to do this full time. We still don't even know what's gonna happen with these oats. Things are looking up and up for us. And that should be all of them getting deposited here. Looks like it does hold enough. I do wanna see just like, how's the capacity? Let's talk to them in here. Let's not get hit by those. Oh, pretty good. So it's about 10,000 and should be producing pretty good and distributing eventually. Check on that later. Yeah, don't mind my mess up there. But the last thing I want to do this month, there's really not a lot to do other than go tell the boss that I'm quitting, is checking on this. Seeds looking good. Fertilizer's looking good. Water is looking good. The one downstairs here, or down the hill, is the one I'm worried about being able to keep up with. But, you know, now that we're making a good amount of money every month, I mean, this month, good gosh, we've made a lot of money. Let's see. We go over here. We could see, oh, yeah, water's good. Seeds, we'll check. We'll keep checking that monthly to see how much we need, but amazing. Just amazing. Another hour turned over. So far today, we have made $122,000. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. I'm going to go ahead and go in for a lunch break. And later this afternoon, we'll update you on the sales of the farmer's market. Well, we didn't check in because I'm a doofus, but you can see, oh boy, we made $173,000 last month, and this month we made $32,000 already. We're at $227,000. We might have cracked the code on how to make money on our own land. Let's see what's going on with these oats. As expected, they are ready to harvest. So a couple things that we'll need. We're gonna have to hope that all of this will fit in the flour mill. And we're gonna need a grain cart and a combine. So what I think I'm gonna do is we're gonna have to drive into town, and we're gonna have to leave this trailer here and get the goods that we need for this harvest, because it's time to get it done. Boy, those are some OP gardens, aren't they? We've got to be one of Clever Motors' #1 customers at this point. See them often. Hopefully they're happy to see us today. I think for $26,000, we'll go ahead and buy this grain cart. They have a 2003 2388 two-wheel drive Case International Harvester combine ready to be sold for us. And I don't think we need to extend anything here. For $75,000, we'll go ahead and buy that. And they have a 20-foot header that we'll go ahead and buy, and $4,000 on a header trailer. All right, we got everything all hooked up. It's time for the wife and I to drive this home. I'm gonna drive the combine. She's gonna drive the truck. We'll get it all home. What a beautiful purchase. Spent over $100,000, but it was well worth it. Now, I elected to buy this instead of leasing because I didn't feel like it was worth, you know, losing money. I don't like leasing things. I like owning it. One-time purchase. We don't plan on doing this for only a couple years. Plan on doing this the rest of my life. So this will be ours long-term, and hopefully it runs forever. But I think I'm very satisfied with these purchases and the progress that we've made in less than a year. 10 months. Wow. And we are all prepped for the harvest. Go ahead and shut that off for now. This will be interesting. See if we can figure this out. Go ahead and just climb up here. Are you ready? Got the header attached. Seems to be compatible. They told me it was. Just, you know, a little worried myself. First time doing this. So this has this fancy GPS functionality to it, like a guided steering. So what I want to do is go right up to the edge here, and then we'll configure it, and we should be able to just cruise up and down this field. Now, let's see how that goes. I got a spot locked in here. We're gonna go ahead and lower the header from what I understand. It looks like we push this to unfold it, and then come over here, get that all prepped, and then we just start going straight, and it should lock into the exact path that we're going. Moisture is at 16%, I believe that's good. Oh, we'll have to do the sides to the right and left later. Drop in some straw. That'll be good to sell. We'll use the auger wagon to pick that up. 4 miles an hour. That's about what we're gonna get on this. Luckily, it's not that big of a field. Pretty skinny. Let's see if we can fill this harvester up at all with this field. It's time to get busy. It feels nice to be unemployed and just work on our own farm. The dashboard was showing 23% full as we turned around. Are we gonna be able to climb the hill? 2 miles an hour, it's pretty rough. Didn't think about this. Did we get enough horsepower? I guess it's just gonna make for a long day. We are sitting at 80% full now. I'm gonna go ahead and unload this because I wasn't sure we'd make another pass without filling up. So we'll go ahead and cruise on over to the cart and drop it off as smoothly as we can. All right, that's unloaded. We got plenty of capacity in that cart, so I'll go ahead and turn around here if we can do it without running into our crop and finish this harvest. It'll be close to getting the rest of it done in one go, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. You see the top is cut off a lot less than it is down at the bottom because of the angle of the field and the angle I was going with my guided steering. So once we turn around, you'll be able to see, yeah, we got a decent amount done. We're here at -2 is our pass. Let's turn this back on. Should be able to cruise. All finished with the harvest, and we got 94% it appears in here. So I'm gonna head up top and drop this off at the grain cart, and we're gonna move it on over to the new production. This is exciting. Pretty good results, I think. I mean, I don't know any better. It seems like it's good results, and I'm hoping all of this fits so we can do one trip, but it'd be kind of cool if it didn't. Should be good. All right, let's shut the combine off. Head on down to the new production. Should be safe to drive through this field. We haven't planted anything yet. So 15.2%. I think we were aiming for 15% moisture, so we should have waited a little bit longer to start the harvest, but lesson learned for next year. Cruise right down here, and we should be able to just pull forward and back up to the same spot we dropped the seeds off at. And there we go. It is emptying, and oats are filling up. So we'll go ahead and activate that. We'll come down here to flour, and it's gonna distribute to the farm shop. And with that being said, I think it's a good time to take a nice long break and enjoy the fruits of our labor. It's been a very successful first year of Homestead. Hope you enjoyed this little journey so far of us quitting our jobs, living off our land. We got more to come in year 2. I'm Socksway Up. I will catch you on the next episode.